Hello to my channel Chinese Star. Today we will bring you the following hot and exciting news.
Xiao Zhan's two dramas have dual charms. Legend of the Hidden Sea and The Legend of the Condor Heroes are opened. Xiao Zhan's two dramas have dual charms. Legend of the Hidden Sea and The Legend of the Condor Heroes are opened. In the entertainment industry, there are always some actors who are remembered by the audience for their unique personal charm and acting skills. When it comes to Xiao Zhan, people will not only think of his handsome appearance, but also think of his excellent ability to perform in-depth roles. Recently, the two dramas starring Xiao Zhan, Legend of the Hidden Sea and The Legend of the Condor Heroes, The Greatest Hero, have become hot topics. His performance in these two dramas has undoubtedly won him more attention and praise. In Legend of the Hidden Sea, Xiao Zhan plays a character who carries a blood feud and has experienced the vicissitudes of life. Unlike any of his previous roles, this challenge is a great test of his acting skills. Judging from the clips that have been exposed in the series, Xiao Zhan's eyes, movements and even changes in tone make it completely unrecognizable that this is the one sunny boy. His transformation and depth of interpretation are amazing. With the blessing of director Zhang Xiaolong, every scene and plot of Legend of the Condor Heroes is intriguing, and Xiao Zhan's performance in the play has brought the charm of this political drama to the extreme. The Legend of the Condor Heroes is a completely different challenge. This martial arts film directed by Sui Hark tells the story of Guo Jing and martial arts masters fighting against foreign enemies for the sake of national justice. Guo Jing, played by Xiao Zhan in the film, has grown from a simple and honest boy to a leader in the martial arts world. He must not only show the character's chivalry and bravery, but also show the kind of leadership and calm temperament. Through the posters and trailers that have been released, we can see that Xiao Zhan is wearing a battle robe and his eyes are firm, perfectly interpreting the classic image of Guo Jing and Jin Yong's works. Xiao Zhan's dual role challenge shows his versatility as an actor and his profound acting skills. In Legend of the Condor Heroes, he showed us the depth and delicacy of complex human nature. In The Legend of the Condor Heroes, he made us feel the feelings and passion of traditional martial arts. No matter which role he plays, he brings the audience into a vivid and exciting story world with his all-out attitude and deep understanding of the role. I look forward to Xiao Zhan bringing more different role-playing in his future acting career, constantly breaking through himself, and bringing more surprises and touches to the audience. Legend of the Kang He and The Legend of the Condor Heroes are just the beginning, and Xiao Zhan's acting career will continue to be exciting. For audiences who like him, this is a great opportunity to feel the collision of hearts and emotions between an actor and a role through the screen. The so-called righteous master's conquest of Wei Wuxin in The Untamed is human nature, and history repeats itself. These days, the TV series has almost exploded the internet and has long occupied the headlines of Weibo hot searches. Many girls have found their dream husbands again, and the three most popular ones are Xiao Zhan, Wang Yibo and Li Xian. And today we are going to talk about The Untamed starring Xiao Zhan. This TV series was adapted from a novel into a comic, and then finally presented as a TV series. It is a fantasy-themed film and television work. The plot of The Untamed can be described as gripping, both touching and tiring. Yesterday was a happy scene of family reunion, but today it has become a tragic situation of life and death. This plot setting makes the audience laugh and cry from time to time. The TV series is adapted from Mo Xiangtong Xiu's novel The Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. Although some adjustments have been made to the plot, the overall storyline is still faithful to the original. Xiao Zhan plays Wei Wuxin in the play with superb acting skills, and expresses the complexity and emotions of the character vividly. His performance not only won the love of the audience, but also won him a large number of fans. Lan Wangji, played by Wang Yibo, is cold and affectionate, which is in sharp contrast to Xiao Zhan. The tacit cooperation between the two adds a lot of color to The Untamed. Since its launch, this TV series has not only attracted widespread attention in China, but also set off a wave of The Untamed fever internationally. The actors in the play have become more popular and have become the new traffic leader. The Untamed is not only a successful fantasy drama, but also an emotional baptism and a shock to the soul. It not only allows the audience to see the growth and efforts of the actors, but also allows people to re-examine the value of friendship, love and family affection. The outstanding performances of Xiao Zhan, Wang Yibo and other actors are destined to leave a deep impression on the audience. In recent episodes, Wei Wuxin was forced to betray the so-called righteous path because of the involvement of the Wen brothers and sisters. From then on, he occupied the mass grave in Yulin and was temporarily preserved. However, it seems that the world really cannot be immune. He didn't want to provoke others, but there were always people who regarded him as a thorn in their eyes and wanted to put him to death. Finally, in an ambush, Wen Ning, who was driven by Wei Wuxin, accidentally killed the son of the Jin family. The Jin family naturally would not miss this opportunity and immediately called on everyone to attack Wei Wuxin, regarding him as the so-called devil. This was undoubtedly a huge blow to Wei Wuxin. In a series of confrontations, he gradually became extremely disappointed with the so-called righteous path. These people were originally demons with kind faces, but their hearts were full of ugliness and narrow-mindedness. Wei Wuxin's situation became more and more dangerous. He not only had to face the pursuit of the Jin family, but also had to bear pressure from all sides. In the mass grave, a place full of death and despair, although he temporarily got a place to stay, he also carried more hatred and misunderstanding. In these hardships, Wei Wuxin's state of mind also changed. He began to question the so-called justice and kindness, and gradually saw the complexity and ugliness of human nature. However, despite such a predicament, he still did not give up his inner kindness. For him, the true righteousness does not lie in the recognition and approval of others, but in the beliefs and principles in his heart. These plots not only let the audience feel Wei Wuxin's pain and struggle, but also let people rethink the nature of good and evil. Through Wei Wuxin's story, The Untamed conveys an important truth to the audience. True justice and kindness do not lie in the disguise of appearance, but in the sincerity and selflessness of the heart. This is also one of the important reasons why this drama can resonate widely. As the saying goes, there is no absolute good and evil. Seemingly good people can also commit cruel crimes, and the bad people in our eyes may also have mercy in their hearts. We always ask others with what we think is justice, as if others do not obey, they will naturally become enemies, or even unforgivable evil people, and everyone can kill them. However, sometimes those so-called bad people have not done anything wrong, that may have harmed the interests of these so-called righteous people. It is these people who push a kind and innocent person step by step onto the path of the evil they want to see, and then attack him in groups, wishing to tear him into pieces. Such plots are vividly displayed in The Untamed. Wei Wuxin originally just wanted to protect the people around him and did not want to be involved in power struggles and disputes. However, because of his powerful abilities and his determination not to go along with the secular world, he became a thorn in the eyes of many people. These so-called righteous people used their power and public opinion to push Wei Wuxin into a desperate situation step by step. They could not tolerate Wei Wuxin's uniqueness, because his existence itself was a challenge to their hypocritical justice. So they began to accuse and suppress Wei Wuxin in various ways, and even fabricated facts to discredit his reputation. Wei Wuxin was forced to embark on the path they designed, from an innocent boy to the yelling patriarch who was regarded as a villain. This was not only a huge blow to Wei Wuxin personally, but also a shock to the audience's heart. We began to think, what is true justice? In this world full of hypocrisy and conspiracy, is there still true kindness and justice? The Untamed reveals the complexity and multifaceted nature of human nature through Wei Wuxin's experience. Good and evil are not absolute, but relative. We cannot judge a person based on appearances alone, and we cannot hurt others for our own interests. True justice should be tolerance and understanding, not narrow-mindedness and exclusion. Only in this way can we find true peace and harmony in this complex world. As Wei Wuxin said in the play, those who admire him never appear in front of him when he needs them. However, when others attack him, these people cheer him on. In the malicious speculation and rumors of those so-called righteous people, Wei Wuxin was portrayed as a demon who kills without blinking and became a sinner of the whole world. These righteous people accused Wei Wuxin of betraying the righteous path in the name of saving the Wen family. But do they really not know that the so-called Jin family used to be the best friend of the Wen family? The former allies have now become the enemies they attack. Such a change is really absurd. People in the righteous path claim to be righteous, but they often lose their way in the face of interests and power. The justice they talk about is actually to cover up their hypocrisy and selfishness. When Wei Wuxin rescued the Wen family, he had kindness and compassion in his heart. However, such a good deed was misinterpreted as betrayal and sin. Those so-called righteous people could not accept Wei Wuxin's unsociability and uniqueness, so they took the opportunity to suppress and slander him. Their hypocrisy and narrow-mindedness pushed Wei Wuxin step by step into despair. These plots not only reveal the complexity and multifaceted nature of human nature, but also make the audience rethink the so-called justice and kindness. What is true justice? In this world full of conspiracies and interest struggles, is there still true kindness and justice? Wei Wuxin's experience shows us how difficult it is to stick to the kindness and principles in our hearts in the reality of unpredictable human hearts. Through Wei Wuxin's story, the Untamed conveys a profound truth to us. True justice and kindness do not lie in the recognition and approval of others, but in one's own guiltlessness and persistence. Although Wei Wuxin was misunderstood and slandered, he always adhered to his beliefs, which is what is most valuable about him. Those so-called righteous people, although they talk about justice all the time, have actually deviated from the true righteous path. As Wei Wuxin said, such a righteous path is really ridiculous. Just like in history, we always understand historical figures according to our own understanding. However, many of the historical documents we see today are recorded by the victors. They will only allow us to see what they want us to see, and as for the real inside story of history, they are often deliberately hidden by them because these inside stories may be unfavorable to them. When we evaluate an event or a person, we always think that some people are unforgivable evil people based on the established historical view, but we never understand the sadness behind the so-called turmoil. The peasant uprising in history is a typical example. The rulers always maliciously suppress them in the name of turmoil, but they never reflect that it is their brutal rule that drives the peasants to a dead end step by step. These rebels originally rose up to resist for survival and basic dignity, but in the writings of the victors, they were portrayed as thugs who disrupted order. This one-sided narrative not only conceals the cruelty and oppression of the rulers, but also obliterates the legitimacy and courage of the rebels. The same principle can be applied to Wei Wuxin's story. Wei Wuxin's betrayal was not out of evil, but was forced. However, under the portrayal of those so-called righteous people, he became a demon who was the target of public criticism. People's misunderstanding and hostility towards him are precisely because they only see the surface but do not understand the truth behind it. In reality, when we evaluate historical figures and events, we should maintain an objective and comprehensive attitude. Only in this way can we truly understand the complexity and diversity of history. History is not only the story of the victors, but also the story of every ordinary person who has struggled in the long river of history. Every misunderstood and ignored voice is worth listening to and reflecting on. Wei Wuxin's story shows us that true good and evil are not absolute, but relative. Those who are regarded as evil may have their own difficulties and reasons for having to do so. We cannot judge a person only by appearances, but should have a deep understanding of the whole picture of the matter in order to make a fair evaluation. Only in this way can we find true justice and truth in history and reality.
Thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe to our support channel.